I like this. As far as, anyway, I remember the dream I was trying to remember earlier. Oh, it's breaking my heart just thinking about it. I remember I was walking down the street and I kind of knew where I was, but not really. And I took a left and I started walking down, and then all of a sudden I got startled because I realized I was like I was on the street where the houses that we lived for 3 years. Oh yeah, wow. So I went into the house with some other people, friends. So I went into like where we'd gone. I mean, because we had a little garden apartment. So we went in there, and it was just so much nicer than it was as if the landlord had made it really nice. The entire building, like you walked in and there was like carpet, and it was like, like wooden doors. Like it was really, really nice. And I was like, God, man, this it would have been great to have this here. And then I was thinking, oh, well, that's okay though, because obviously they had the time between when we moved out, when Abram moved out, and when the next person moved in. So they did that then. But when Abram got the apartment, it was more of a rush. That was my reasoning in the dream. And then not that you really care, but I'm actually just recording this so that I have it. So then, it was really nice. It was like brown and floor. And I'm telling you these details because I want to be able to go back to them and really examine them. So it was like brown wood with a kind of a red runner carpet. And I walked in and I kind of turned to the door because we were like right as you came in the door. This was a converted house. It was a very ramshackle. But so I turned and I opened the door, and it was still the basement. Now it was a done basement, obviously, but it had linoleum floors, and not that that's bad, but it kind of, there was bumps in them. And the kitchen, oh wow, yeah, the kitchen was this is all in reality. The kitchen floor was Flagstaff, kind of like just the stones, different colors and different shapes. And that was real stone. And then the other room was that linoleum that looks like wood. It was fine. Very off-white walls that we had to before he moved in, we really scrubbed the walls and scrubbed the entire apartment. It was really dirty. So yeah, and so as you walk in to the kitchen, that's where the window is, right? That's where that half of the basement is up because it's on a hill, so it goes like that. So we have a window. That's the kitchen, and then you walk in and there's a space, and then there's a space that goes up, and then that's where we put the bed. It was kind of separated the room a little. So that's where the bed went. Anyway, so I walked in in my dream to this place, and it was much nicer. And we walked into, I actually kind of broke into the apartment. I was like, oh, the person's I somehow knew that the person was going to be back for a little while. And I had my friends with me. I had these friends with me, and then people in the building kind of knew, but they were like, whatever. But I went in and I was just having memories, and I kept thinking, oh, I gotta call him and tell him that this place is so much nicer now. I gotta call him and tell him that, I have to text him and let him know that this place is so much nicer. So, and I went back. I kept going, I would leave and I'd be like, I think I left something there, and I would turn around and I would go back. And then I would find out that I already had this stuff. I figured out, oh no, I did have that, my jacket. I would go in, I went for my jacket, and then I realized I was wearing my jacket. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. And that happened a couple of times. I went back like 3 times. And then I was like, okay. I walked out, and then there was this almost like risers by the road, where the road is in front of the house. And there was going to be some sort of celebration. Maybe it was a parade, or I don't know, some sort of thing on the road that we were sitting. I mean, it was enough that we were sitting in risers. So it was me and my friend, and I was talking like, you know, I should call him and let him know, or text him and let him know about this. And I don't remember what the response was. I'll have to think about that. But anyway, that was the dream. So when I woke up, you know, I was kind of lying there thinking, like, you know, just having that nostalgia / pain, where you're thinking like, oh, that was so great. Like, we lived together for 3 years there. And it was like every night was like, it was, you know, a sleepover party with my best friend. And yeah, so I just had this, you know, melancholy and longing in my heart when I woke up, and I was just thinking about it. And it's like, okay, well, what does that dream mean? You know what I mean? Like, what am I saying in my head about this? Because, again, I'm every person in this dream. I'm every, like, the situation is how I feel the situation is, right? So, oh, this hurts. That just hurt. So, number one is that he never showed up in the dream. Like, he's gone. Like, the apartment was empty. Someone else would be coming back, but it wasn't him. My heart was just aching throughout the dream. And, you know, so it was like, I went back into our rooms. I went back into the place that we lived, and, you know, with all this stuff, and I had all these, you know, memories. But, like, but it had been changed, right? It was changed into this, like, really much nicer thing. So I was wondering what that means. Like, and then I wanted to tell him, right? What does that room mean? I had an idea this morning. Right now, I would say, like, that I'm remembering things. I don't think it's that I like, you know, these things are like, you either feel that it either resonates with you, the interpretation, or it doesn't. That doesn't. I feel like it's just we don't live there anymore, you know? And I would like to live there. You know what I mean? Like, I've made it comfortable there. I've made it comfortable there. In my head, right? When we lived together, I beautified it a bit. Not in the sense of, like, over romanticizing it, over idealizing it, but because, like, the stuff that I say now is stuff that I said throughout the entire relationship. Like, it's like having a sleepover with my best friend. We never fight. Like, I was saying that throughout the entire relationship. It's not just afterwards, you know? He always took care of me. You know what I mean? Like, just all these things that I think that were great about the relationship was stuff that I was saying back then. So, I don't think I'm over romanticizing it. But I think that maybe I've gone back and dwelt there. I've lived there in the sense of where our home was, but we're not there anymore, you know? But it surprised me that I have to think a lot about this. I'm going to write this down, but I now have it on video, so I can go back to it so I won't forget it again. Yeah. And I remember there were shoes too. One of the last times I went back in to get something, I laid down on the bed, and there was like a couple of shoes, or like a pile of shoes by the side, and I woke up and I saw a pair of shoes that kind of looked like mine, but they were the guy that lives there. but that guy wasn't there. Anyway, that's it. I have those details. I can go back and watch it whenever I want. And you don't have to watch this because I'm sure it's very boring.